Back now on Triad today. Just before we get to the roundtable, I want to remind you to pick up your copy of Yes Weekly. It is free and available just about everywhere. I have a Thanksgiving column in there, by the way, if you want to read that. Now to the roundtable on my right, but always the political left. Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster and journalist. Next to him is a gentleman who we have held over from an earlier segment, David Daggett. Of course, did that wonderful segment with Griff and Aaron about childhood obesity. We appreciate that, but he stayed over for the roundtable. And next to David is President Trump's personal attorney.
Every time I go away and I come back, you have to say something. You have to say something right here.
Keith Granberry is, no, seriously, Keith is founder of Helping Hands Consultants, been all over the world, recently coming back from South Africa, doing great work in economic development and human development. All right, guys, here's a kind of a difficult question I want to start with. An African-American police officer in Greensboro has been put on paid leave for marching in a parade sponsored by a hate group that is anti-police and anti-white. Now, like him or not, I don't even know the gentleman, should a city employee be punished for who he associates with away from the job? Ogie Overman.
Well, not knowing the group or the circumstance, on the surface, I'm going to side with the cop. It's got to be, I don't even know if it's really a hate group, an anti-white group.
Southern Poverty Law Center groups them fairly or unfairly. They have a list,
right, okay.
And they said,
well, I would go, if they say it's a hate group, it is a hate group.
David.
I look at it as an employer, and I want my employees to comport themselves with reasonable decorum, and that's between the fences. And within the fences, you got complete freedom, but you can't go outside the fences to repulsive conduct. And I think that's the way I would analyze that. And if it's repulsive, then action needs to be taken.
Mr. Granberry.
I think, number one, I don't know what this group is, and I don't know what the definition of hate group is. They may be having a definition that this group may not be. So I really can't speak on whether or not it's a hate group. But yeah, if he's marching with a group and the group is against a specific group based on race, it's wrong, period, no matter who it is.
Okay. Last week, while performing an improv comedy routine, a Surrey County high school student made a distasteful joke about Donald Trump. Nobody will reveal what that joke was. And now the Sheriff's Department has launched an investigation into the matter and the student because a parent complained. Guys, are you okay with investigating a student over something like this, or is it an affront to free speech? Ogie Overman.
Well, yes, it is. And in fact, I mean, what's not distasteful about Trump?
Well, I didn't.
So you have to make a joke about it sometimes just to keep from crying.
Somebody didn't like it, David Daggett.
I think that there's a spectrum here as to what's distasteful and what is threatening or a precursor to something more.
If he threatened, that's one thing.
If he threatens and it's a precursor to something else, yes, investigate him. If it's just a bad joke or a distasteful joke or even an offensive joke, that's free speech.
Keith.
Man, how many people talked about Obama? I mean, that's their job. Freedom of speech. People get a chance to say that's what kids and young people go to school for, to learn freedom of speech. This is crazy.
Yeah. As long, like David said, as long as they don't threaten the life of, and sometimes Obama got death threats and whatever, but I think this was just probably used obscenities or something. We don't know. Yeah. The Guilford County School Board has recently ruled that parents can appeal their child's suspension if it's a short suspension, 10 days or less. You okay with taking these suspensions out of the hands of school principals and letting parents appeal to the superintendents? Quickly, Ogie.
This became a big brouhaha in Greensboro, really over a very minor issue. The superintendent is going to side with the principal 9 times out of 10. It gives the parents a little recourse, but it's not that big a deal.
David.
Well, I think that there needs to be some sort of review built into the system. This sounds like it could create an administrative burden that is heavy on everybody, and you don't want something that's so cumbersome it's unworkable.
Right, and we're not talking about long-term suspensions like bringing a weapon to school. This is like, Johnny and Davy fighting or something like that. Keith, what do you think?
I think it should be the reverse. I think if it's something that's long-term, parents should be able to intervene versus short-term. Because if it's long-term, it affects the kids, and it may be something that's serious versus short-term.
And they can go up the chain of command on something really serious, but this was like the less serious stuff. I don't know. How much time do we have, Brian? Brian just stuck a finger up at me. I don't know what that means.
The
Carborough, the town of Carborough, has just changed the name of its governing body from Board of Aldermen to Town Council, which they say is a gender-neutral name. Is the name change a good idea, or is it politically correct overreaction, Ogie?
Just keeping up with the times. Nobody does board of aldermen anymore anyway. Town council's fine.
Mr. Daggett?
I think it's just fine. To me, it's a non-issue.
So it's not overreacting?
It's just
Keith?
a non-issue.
I think they should call themselves the Granberries. No, I'm just kidding. It's a non-issue.
You don't think it's a big deal?
No, no big deal. No,
The final thing is a Chinese fashion designer has just created a line of clothing made entirely from waste and trash collected from the ocean. And you have to take a look at this thing. We don't have a picture of it. It's not like recycled, it's like hanging off of the garment. Guys, would you wear clothes made of trash, or put another way, would you wear trashy clothing? Oh, Gil.
Well, that changes everything if it's not repurposed trash. I'm all for that.
You don't want anything hanging off of it.
Not seaweed, no. But really repurposing everything, everything.
I think he just got stuff hanging off of him daily.
Yeah, I don't want stuff hanging off me, but the truth is, most of us have something that's fleece, and that's made out of recycled bottles, most of it, and we're getting better at doing that. And maybe this is a provocative gesture to remind us there's more ways to recycle trash.
Keith, you have never worn trashy clothing.
No, nor have I been trashy ever. I'm not even trashy. No, I absolutely would not wear,
You would not wear that.
any type of trash, nor would be with anyone who is trashy.
Nothing out of the...
That I know of.
Well, you're sitting next to three. Never mind. Well, we hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. And that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Authorities are investigating a claim by a number of women who have come forward to complain about a man who romanced them online, then scammed them out of millions of dollars. This is a witch hunt, said Ogie Overman.
I'm glad you got him this time. You usually get me. Thank you.
For all of us here, all of us trashy guys, I'm Jim Longrick. We'll see you next week.